Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to David S. Ingalls Rink and another evening of Yale men's ice hockey here. Tonight, the Bulldogs welcome in the St. Lawrence Saints from Canton, New York. The Saints coming in 5-1-1 on the year, ranked number 13 nationally. Should be a fantastic test for the Bulldogs tonight. Well, this Yale team is coming off a close 1-0 loss against a hard-fought battle against a tough Clarkson team last night, which the Clarkson Golden Knights, Jarrett Burton, gave the Knights that deciding 1-0 edge with about 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the third period here at Ingalls. Certainly a hard-fought game, tight throughout the entire evening, but the Golden Knights pulled ahead at the end of there and held on for the victory against the Elis. Addie, what did you take away from last night's game?
Well, Max, it was definitely a tough loss for the Bulldogs in their home opener here at Ingalls. They did do a good job on team defense, holding the Knights to only one goal. They did an excellent job of killing all 4 penalties. Tonight we'll definitely look to improve upon formulating more plays in the offensive zone, stringing together more passes, especially in the neutral zone, and finishing on those rebounds.
Well, Addie, that's definitely something we talked about last night as the game progressed. The Bulldogs really struggled to develop a consistent rhythm in the offensive zone. Outside of a good 3 or 4 minute stretch in which the Bulldogs had a strong power play when they began to mix up the lines to try and bring some of their top scorers together on that power play unit. Outside of that, they really struggled to just play consistently through the evening and generate a lot of chances against Clarkson's young netminder, Greg Lewis. Well, tonight, the Bulldogs welcome in the St. Lawrence Saints, who have been an offensive juggernaut thus far this year. They're led by Kyle Flanagan, who's number 1 nationally in points scored per game, and he's assisted by Greg Carey, who plays on the second line not with Flanagan, who now is number 2 nationally in points per game. At the same time, the St. Lawrence Saints are an incredibly strong defensive team. The net will be held tonight by Matt Wenninger, a junior goaltender, who's ranked has a 1.55 goals against average and a .951 save percentage. He's been a tremendous talent this year thus far, and he's reigning ECAC goaltender of the month. That said, not to be outdone, Kyle Flanagan is not only the reigning ECAC player of the month, he's the reigning National Collegiate Player of the month.
Yeah, and as we look at this St. Lawrence team, you mentioned they are ranked number 13 nationally. The first time they've been ranked since March of 2009. They're currently 55-29-9 in the overall series against Yale. So Yale will be looking to win one here at Ingalls. Before their tie against Brown last night over at Providence, it was 3-3. They were on a 4-game win streak, outscoring their opponents 17-2. Definitely an offensive-minded team. The key to their success seems to be in their special teams, their power play being ranked number 6 nationally, and their penalty kill being ranked number 4.
Well, absolutely, Addie. Special teams are an important part of every game, and when you're converting, as well as St. Lawrence has been, both on the power play and on the penalty kill, it's certainly an advantage. Well, you mentioned St. Lawrence last night. They tied a 3-3 game against the Brown Bears up in Providence. St. Lawrence staked an early lead and were leading 3-1 heading into the third period, but they couldn't stave off the Bears, who put 2 goals there early in the third period to bring the game to a 3-3 tie, which held throughout the overtime session. Recently, looking at the recent history for Yale against St. Lawrence, the 2 teams played to a 3-3 tie in Canton, New York last year in the first game of the series, whereas in the second game, the Bulldogs fell to the Saints here at Ingalls Rink in February. That was a 4-3 loss. Heading late into the game, the St. Lawrence Saints were holding on to a 3-2 lead there, where Kenny Agostino tied that game with 35 seconds left and sent Ingalls into a frenzy. In the overtime session, Greg Carey won it for St. Lawrence on a fantastic sharp angle one-timer to give the Saints the 4-3 victory on the visiting trip there for them. But as you mentioned, Addie, the series has been thus far heavy for St. Lawrence. But this Yale team is really going to have to, this is going to be a fantastic test tonight for this young Yale defensive unit. We talked about all of that last night, the freshman core, especially in defense. They dressed 3 freshman defenders last night and 1 sophomore, only 2 upperclassmen and the 6 starting D-men for last night's game. And we're really going to need to have those guys step up tonight to contain this offensive juggernaut of Flanagan and Carey.
They did a really nice job last night, especially the penalty kill. We had O'Gara on defense. We also had Wilson and Beatty on forward at the top of the box on penalty kill. As Coach Keith Elaine was saying, he really likes to work in the freshmen, give them some experience, and they definitely improved themselves.
We'd also like to announce, folks, tonight that Nico Weberg will be making his first start of the year, coming back off an injury. He'll be playing left wing tonight, and Matt Killian will also be rejoining the lineup. Well, those substitutions are one of the things I discussed with Coach Elaine when I caught up with him ringside before tonight's game. This is Max Valenstein here for Yale All Access ringside with Yale head coach Keith Elaine. Coach, a hard-fought 1-0 loss against a tough Clarkson squad last night. How do you feel your team played?
Well, to be honest with you, Max, I think we could have played better. You know, you have to give Clarkson credit. They played the kind of game that they had to play to beat us. They were solid defensively. They blocked a lot of shots, and they made us work to get to the net, and we didn't work as hard as we needed to.
Coach, can you let us know a little bit about what you told your guys in the locker room after last night's game?
I told them what I just told you.
Coach, can we expect to see any changes in the lineup following last night's game?
Yeah, we made a couple of changes. You know, I think that one of the benefits of playing at home is we've got extra players around. So Nico Weberg is going to go into the lineup as well as Matt Killian. So we'll have some fresh legs.
So we'll certainly look forward to Nico Weberg's debut this season. Coach, your team welcomes in a red-hot St. Lawrence squad tonight. What have they been doing so well this year as a team?
Well, they've been scoring. You know, actually they've been scoring and they're keeping the puck out of the net. I mean, they've got two players up front that are quality offensive players in our league, and their goaltenders' numbers are outstanding.
So when you look at those two players, Greg Carey and Kyle Flanagan, the latter of whom is the reigning National Player of the Month, how do you contain a threat like that?
Well, I mean, we play team defense. You know, I think when you've got guys that are exceptional players, you have to be aware when they're on the ice and maybe pay a little bit extra special attention to them. And also they get some numbers on the power play, so we want to reduce their opportunities.
Coach, what does your team need to do to win tonight?
We need to create more offense than we did last night and defend just as well.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That was Yale head coach Keith Elaine. Welcome back live to Ingalls Rink. The St. Lawrence Saints tonight will be coached by Greg Carville in his first year, replacing longtime legend Joe Marsh, who retired recently. The Bulldogs, as you just saw, coached by Keith Elaine in his 7th year here. The two referees for today will be Harry Dumas and Bob Ritchie, and they'll be joined by the linesmen Leo Boylan, and Dan Taggart. As we get ready here for the face-off, it looks like the Bulldogs will stick with Jeff Malcolm in net, making his 3rd consecutive start. In his last 2 starts, he's let up 1 goal only in the 5-1 victory against Harvard and the 1-0 loss against Clarkson, whereas Matt Wenninger, junior goaltender, leader of this St. Lawrence defense, will be in net for the Saints.
And as we line up for the puck drop here at Ingalls Rink, Carson Cooper off the draw. Puck won back to Hughes on defense. Shot up into the Bulldogs and picked up by O'Gara. O'Gara battling in the corner for the puck. St. Lawrence comes out shot and wide of the net. St. Lawrence doing a nice job moving the puck on the side. Flanagan, their most dangerous player on offense. Shot and save by Malcolm.
Already a terrific look there for Kyle Flanagan, open in the slot.
Cooper coming around the back of the net. Doherty there to stop him as 2 St. Lawrence players go down. Cooper coming out of the zone, gains the blue line through the neutral zone and dumps it in for Yale. We've Beatty on the forecheck behind the net. Puck up to Carey. Carey over to Doherty on the far boards. Chips it in. Dewitt coming in on defense. Shot and save by Malcolm.
Well, good job to hold on to that one there. They had freshman center Sean McGovern in on net, looking for any juicy rebounds he can get there. Going back just a minute, that was a fantastic opportunity for Kyle Flanagan in the slot to Malcolm's left, about 10-15 feet out. The Bulldogs can't afford to give such an offensive talent too many chances like that tonight.
Now we have Yale's most experienced line out as Root goes up for the face-off. Draw it 1 back to St. Lawrence. Miller now on defense as Dewick picks it up behind the net, shoots it up the boards to Miller. Miller being held down on the boards. Puck squirts loose. Root there to poke it out of the zone as Baker steps up on defense, taken out by Root. Puck now back in to the Saints' end. Root trying to get possession as Saints try to clear. Whiff there on a shot, back up to Carey, and Carey will dump it in. Malcolm behind the net with the puck. Killian picks it up, first shift of the game this here tonight. Ruffalo up to Killian. Behind the net, Bourbonnais with a hard hit. Lagunier trying to help him out as the puck is picked up. Shot back out of the Saints zone. Ruffalo now over to Lagunier, misses his blade by an inch. Lagunier with a very hard hit.
Ooh, that's a tough hit there for Lagunier. That's absolutely gonna draw a penalty there. Lagunier got him a little late, and it looks like he got him right from behind on the numbers too. Almost a dangerous situation there for the Bulldogs there. Lagunier is going to sit. The question is whether it's going to be just a 2-minute penalty or the officials there are going to decide that warranted a major penalty. So we'll wait here for the call. But either way, a dangerous hit, and it's good to see the St. Lawrence player get up and skate off under his own power. The board here showing a 2-minute penalty on Antoine Lagunier. So the Bulldogs there perhaps a little fortunate to escape only with a minor penalty. That said, this will bring out that fantastic St. Lawrence power play you mentioned, number 6 nationally, 29.4% effective.
And on the penalty kill, we have Wilson and Balch as the Saints look to set up their power play. We have Hughes, Carey, and Baker out here with Flanagan. Flanagan up to Baker, over to Hughes, setting up an umbrella play. Hughes back to Flanagan. Shot way behind the net as Hughes picks it up on the blue line. Hughes back to Baker. Interception by Balch, who tries to tip it out of the zone, hits the glass. Flanagan on the sideboards, working with Carey. Carey and Flanagan, some cycles. Shot by Baker, well wide of Yale's net. Martin trying to dump in the zone as the Bulldogs get a break here on the penalty kill. Flanagan and Carey again on the offensive rush, and an offsides will be called.
Well, the Bulldogs will be happy here to get a whistle, get a chance to change. They had their primary penalty killing unit out there for the majority so far of the St. Lawrence power play now, which has about 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining.
Bulldogs doing a nice job of containing Flanagan on the penalty kill. Flanagan has 8 of the points on the power play so far. Saints coming down the ice over to Dewey. Dewey shoots it into the zone. Now we have Fallon and Dewick on defense for the Bulldogs, along with Ruffalo and Bourbonnais.
You see Coach Elaine there mixing up the younger and more experienced defenseman. Colin Dewick, the sole senior defenseman dressed tonight, playing with younger Tommy Fallon.
Puck stolen by Root. Now Cooper has it in front of that shot and save.
And the massive players there barrel into Matt Wenninger after the play. The St. Lawrence defenseman a little irritated that perhaps Cooper, they feel he may have gotten a bit of a cheap shot in there on Wenninger as the play, or as the whistle blew. Didn't really seem too malicious from my point of view, but either way, everybody's very interested in protecting their goaltenders.
That would have been one of those instances where we'd like to see the Bulldogs capitalize on finishing. Cooper wide open in front of the net, did a nice job of losing his defenders to get into that position. Bourbonnais and Ruffalo now, along with O'Gara and Young. O'Gara seeing a lot of playing time. Shot by Ruffalo, stopped by Hughes. Hughes up to Carey. Their first power play unit back on the ice. Carey looking over to find his teammate Martin. Now Hughes at the top. Back shot. Saved by Malcolm. It's a fake shot by Flanagan from the side. Flanagan now with the puck back to Carey as the penalty runs out and the Bulldogs are back to even strength. Lagunier back on the ice. Shot and saved by Malcolm. O'Gara with the big hit here on the near side. Bourbonnais and O'Gara working together in the back to defend. Hughes coming off the point to keep the zone. Carey looking for a pass into the slot is stopped by Young up to Lagunier. Lagunier loses it over to Young. Young back to Lagunier in front of the net and stopped by the Saints. We have Carey and Martin with a 2-on-1, stopped by Dewick. Miller goes down, getting the puck over to Lagunier. Dewick coming up to follow the play, and there's an offsides called.
Again, just a little out of sync there for the Bulldogs coming into the offensive zone. Last night you saw on several different occasions the Bulldogs just couldn't manage to get the timing right, disrupting or rather not able to establish any kind of offensive rhythm with getting the puck in the zone. It's one of the things that you look to see this team improve upon tonight if they're going to hang with the Saints.
And Fallon finds Killian over here, his defensive partner. They played a lot together last year. Up to Miller, shot blocked by Austin. Puck picked up by Thompson on the side. Agostino with a nice hit. Miller to Root. Root tries to get a shot off. He blocked. Another blocked shot here by Root. Miller picks it up in the corner, being challenged by the Saints. Picked up by Austin. Shot by Root just wide of the post. And Killian is able to hold off the Saints as now we have Essery with the puck. Shot wide of Malcolm's pad. Wilson looking for Killian. Killian runs into Beatty as Fallon rings it around the boards up to Balch. Balch now puck up to Wilson. Wilson and Beatty 2-on-1. Right into the crease is off the stick of Beatty. Does not find the back of the net. So close. Wick now in the neutral zone. Picked up by Baker. We have 4 Bulldogs on Baker as Dewick tries to get it out of his own end and is hit hard by Stratford. Shot on Malcolm.
Well, Addie, one thing's for certain, the intensity level of this game so far, the back and forth, the skating, and especially the hitting has, the intensity level has just been a lot higher than at any point in last night's game against Clarkson. Both teams were really coming out with a lot of energy here.
Definitely did not see the Bulldogs this aggressive last night. Must be a little animosity.
Absolutely. All that time they spent in the offensive zone there after the penalty kill. Very encouraging for the Yale fan to see them generating a couple chances in succession.
Clarkson wins the draw back to Hughes as O'Gara comes up. And we have Lagunier with the puck. Looking for Ruffalo here on the side. Stopped by Dyer. Shot by Brukel as Malcolm's able to stop it with his stick.
And Brukel and Bourbonnais trading jabs there with their sticks after that play ended. As we mentioned, the physicality picking up, and with that comes a little bit of after the whistle shenanigans from both teams.
Bourbonnais wins the draw back to O'Gara as Ruffalo chases down the puck. Dewey behind his own net, banks it off the boards. Puck now up to Gunnar Hughes. Dewey again with the puck into the slot. Stopped by Malcolm, who gloves it on the ice.
Well, that's puck just lying there dangerously right in front of Malcolm's crease with a couple Saints, including the much feared Kyle Flanagan there trying to jab at it. That type of opportunity it's very, very dangerous, and something the Bulldogs really need to avoid here. They don't want to give St. Lawrence any cheapies out here now. 7 minutes in the game, already a 7-1 shots on goal advantage unofficially for the Saints.
Root wins it back to Obuchowski. Dewick there to help him out. Obuchowski again with the puck behind the net up to Miller. Miller chips it up to Agostino here, right to Root. Shot by Root, and Agostino is hit into the net.
Agostino knocked into the cage there by Riley Austin, junior defenseman for the Saints. He laid a pretty good hit on Agostino, which dislodged the net. Doesn't look like we're going to see a penalty call from it, though the officials are discussing something now down there on the ice level. But it looks like they were just trying to find the puck, rather. But great job there by Agostino to crash the net, and just a little bit off from that feed from Root. But either way, that Miller-Agostino-Root line generating chances creatively like we saw in spurts last night.
Leading the team in intensity as Hughes dumps into the zone. Obuchowski doing a nice job as he now goes into the net for the Bulldogs.
And we see the mirror image on the other side now as Patrick Doherty there, sophomore from Hanover, New Hampshire, knocking Yale's net off and crashing into Jeff Malcolm.
Patrick Doherty, team captain Kyle Flanagan's right wing, has 1 goal so far this season. As we mentioned, Kyle Flanagan definitely a bigger threat with 16 points, 7 goals, and 9 assists. Draw 1 back to St. Lawrence as Armstrong fires it into the zone, stopped by Malcolm behind the net. Young there to pick it up. Young coming up over the blue line, trying to find Weberg now as it's shot back into the Bulldogs' end. O'Gara off the boards over to Young, who goes down. Puck picked up by Martin. Martin over to Armstrong. Shot blocked by Day. Defense working around, shot again wide of the Bulldogs' net as Carey picks it up behind the net. Carey over to Martin. Martin to Armstrong. Armstrong leading for a shot. Day doing a nice job of defending his point. Shot by Armstrong, blocked by O'Gara. And Bulldogs come out of their own zone as Weberg over to Cooper. Shot by Weberg and saved by Wenninger.
Well, you saw a couple times there on that offensive setup for the Saints. You saw both Armstrong and Baker, the 2 D-men there, really trying to create shooting lanes effectively by pump faking on their slap shots and trying to get the Yale defenseman to go down to block the puck and then just skating around them to create open shooting lane on net.
Looking at the stats, the St. Lawrence defense add a lot to the scoring opportunities for the Saints. Baker has 7 points so far this season. Saints trying to get out of their own zone with a hard forecheck by Beattie, Wilson, and Balch. Wilson gloves it down.
And the officials are going to say that he closed his hand on the puck in the process of gloving that one down. I couldn't see from here, but the Yale players are not arguing too much there, so they may know that that was the correct call, perhaps. Either way, the face-off then will be brought all the way back down into the Yale zone, and they'll switch out their forward line now, bringing out that unit of Lagunier, Bourbonnais, and Ruffalo.
Bourbonnais on the face-off up against Essery. Draw 1 back to Hughes. Bourbonnais picking it up in the corner. Challenged by Essery, coming around the back of the net, in front of the net, goes behind as Wick picks it up. Ruffalo coming out of the zone is taken out by Wick. Bourbonnais trying to fight him off, defending his teammate. Puck goes deep into the zone as is pushed in by Essery. Essery back over to Hughes coming off of the point. Bourbonnais and Fallon trying to get it out from in front of the net. Fallon finally getting it clear as Bourbonnais goes on top of it. Saints player, we have Essery, Thompson in front of the net, shot and saved by Malcolm.
Well, you know, Addie, I don't think Malcolm got a part of that one. That one went right off the crossbar where it meets the post there to Malcolm's right and deflected right out of play. The St. Lawrence fans were excited a moment ago as Bourbonnais was, if I may, sitting on top of Essery as he was on the ice, and Essery was going to have nothing to do with that. He just stood up and flipped Bourbonnais off, kind of like a rodeo, getting bucked off of the Bronco. The St. Lawrence faithful here who traveled down in good numbers to fill in this visiting section, quite content to see that.
Thankfully, no band here tonight, as I can hear you talk to me, Max. As Clarkson brought down their band from way up north last night. Very loud, very spirited.
Yeah, a very vocal group of devoted Clarkson fans made that trek yesterday.
No sign yet of the Yale Precision Band as Root takes the draw. Puck goes across the crease. Untouched. Agostino back to Duick. Duick to Obuchowski. Agostino now on the boards. Misses it as it's picked up by Dewey. On the boards over by the Yale bench. Obuchowski shoots it over to Duick. Duick to Miller. Miller flips it into the Saints' end. Root picks it up behind the net. Being pushed hard by Austin into the boards. Agostino helping him out there. Miller comes into the mix, looking for a cycle back to Agostino, picked up by St. Lawrence. Obuchowski pushed down as there's a shot into the face mask of Malcolm as he's shaking his head there. Very hard shot to the face by Hughes. Miller getting it out of his own end, trying to find Agostino. Picked up by Baker. Baker over to Armstrong. Armstrong up to Hughes as he is challenged by Beatty. Balch now with the offensive rush for the Bulldogs, coming down quickly the side, whiffs on the shot, finds O'Gara. O'Gara back to Wilson. Wilson looking for Beatty there in the back door. Beatty behind the net. Over to Wilson, who is there to pick it up. Puck in front of the net. We see Balch. Wilson coming out from the other side. Up shot by Young, blocked by Baker. Baker now with the puck on the far side. Looking for Flanagan in the middle. Nice interception by Wilson. Malcolm sets it up for O'Gara to pick up behind the net as it's shot down into the Saints' end. Be an icing call back into the Bulldog zone.
About 9:06 left here in the first period. From Ingles Rink, you're watching coverage of Yale against St. Lawrence on Yale All Access. I'm Max Valenstein, joined tonight by Adlon Adams. Looking at the shot total so far, a 9-4 advantage unofficially for the visiting Saints over the home team, the Bulldogs, tonight.
Face off by St. Lawrence. Martin there in the corner. Shot by Martin goes off the stick of Malcolm. Day with a hard hit on Hughes. Trying to get out of the zone. Cooper there, flicking it out, trying to find Weberg, and Day streaking down the zone. Picked up by Riley. Back to Hughes. Hughes through the neutral zone, up to his forward. Shot and save by Malcolm.
Well, Jeff Malcolm has certainly been tested tonight, but he's risen to the challenge thus far. Another good save there for the Lethbridge, Alberta native. A bit of a hometown rivalry, if we will, here. Both Matt Wenninger and Jeff Malcolm are natives of Lethbridge, Alberta in Canada. Must have grown up playing together. From what I understand, Lethbridge isn't the biggest place in the world.
Bourbonnais wins the draw. Back to Obuchowski. Puck up to Ruffalo. Looking for Lagunier in the middle. Lagunier easily getting around Dewey. Lagunier flicking it over to Bourbonnais on the side. Puck lost up to Thompson. Bourbonnais again with the puck fending off a hit as Austin now comes through his own zone, turning away from pressure. Back to Dewey. Dewey looking for his teammate up to Thompson. Thompson on the side going against Dewick. Shot blocked by Dewick's stick. Obuchowski with a hard hit in the corner. Bourbonnais up the boards to Ruffalo and kept in the zone. Dewick on the side as he finds Lagunier. Lagunier looking for Ruffalo coming through the middle. Puck collected by Winninger. Beatty now on the forecheck, comes right off the bench. Beatty and Wilson here on the side. Wilson comes to pick it up over to Beatty. Beatty hit hard from behind by Armstrong. Esri keeping away from the front of his net as he clears it out. Wilson now on the side. Some nice stick work. Wilson, shot by Wilson right onto the skate of Beatty. Puck cleared out by Armstrong. Armstrong up to Doherty coming down the sideboards. Young doing a nice job of taking the body on that play as O'Gara picks it up behind the net. Doherty now behind the net working, whiffed on the shot by Hughes. And we have both Hughes brothers on the ice right now out of Westford, Massachusetts. Their sister being the team captain. Shot blocked, team captain for the women's ice hockey team last year, Aleka Hughes. Puck now back into the Saints zone. Shot back up to Doherty. Doherty trying to get a shot on net. Very flimsy shot there. Lots of back and forth going on as Agostino holds it against his own boards by his bench. Obuchowski up to Root. Root over to Agostino. Riley trying to hold him off as he flicks it around the boards. Dewick pinching down on defense. Dewick takes out Riley. Miller now coming out of the corner. Up to Dewick. Dewick with a shot just wide of the net. Root and Doherty going at it in the corner. Puck squirts out here up to Hughes. Hughes stopped by Dewick. Miller in his own zone with lots of time as the Bulldogs look to get fresh legs on the ice. Cooper comes out now with Day and Weberg. Puck up to Carey. Carrying through the neutral zone as he gains the blue line, trying to get a drop pass to his teammate Martin. Yale now on the offense. Weberg up to Day. Day taken out. His stick is caught. Puck thrown out with a hand there by Martin.
St. Lawrence a little fortunate to get the whistle there as Day came into the crease. He got a piece of Wenninger, and Wenninger was down in the crease and sort of hooked on Day's stick, perhaps. As Day tried to free himself, Wenninger was not able to get up. But with the puck going out of play, he now has a chance to right himself and stand up tall. Just want to report, we saw a moment ago St. Lawrence defenseman George Hughes skating off a little gingerly, actually now, and he went down the tunnel beneath us here. And we're going to penalty call coming up. I did not see that there on Chris Martin of the St. Lawrence Saints. So this Bulldogs power play, 15.8% on the year, is going to get its first shot at the St. Lawrence penalty kill.
O'Gara over to Ruffalo on the power play for the Bulldogs. Killian joining in. Bourbonnais over to O'Gara. O'Gara trying to get in front of the net to Lagunier. Saints getting out of their end. Shot on net. Looking now at the stats, Chris Martin now leads the team in penalty minutes with 9.
Well, Martin's sitting 2 minutes for delay of game for sending that puck over the sideboards.
Lagunier getting around a couple players as the puck squirts back to Killian. Killian to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais back to Lagunier in the corner. Lagunier right to Bourbonnais, trying to get a shot. Goes wide. Ruffalo and Bourbonnais 2 on the puck for the Bulldogs on the power play. About a minute and 15 seconds left. Killian over to Miller now, who will be playing defense for the Bulldogs. Over to Agostino.
The St. Lawrence fans are disappointed the Bulldogs didn't take a penalty there for too many men on the ice.
Agostino today in front of the net. Miller over to Fallon. Fallon up to Root. Root trying to get a shot as he pokes it over to Agostino. Agostino struggling with his feet as Weininger gloves it. Agostino going at it now with Justin Baker.
Yeah, things getting a little testy here. I heard some Bulldogs fans beneath me here in the stands angles yelling that right there, Andrew Miller should have shot the puck instead of passing it off. He's known for his real creativity and generating a lot of assists, but sometimes perhaps it would pay for him to take more shots as well, especially when he has a clear shooting lane.
He was wide open there on the other side. You can also hear them yelling for Fallon to pass the puck over. Saints win the draw, shot out by Doherty. About 40 seconds left on the power play for the Bulldogs. Day taken out by Flanagan. Over to Austin. Bulldogs struggling as the clock ticks down on the power play. Fallon coming out of his own zone over to Miller. Miller up to Agostino, but it's on his backhand. He has to turn around to catch it. Puck now taken up the ice. Shot and glove save by Malcolm. There's a shot there by Sean McGovern out of Milton, Ontario.
And the Bulldogs are going to sit now as Agostino is going to make his way to the bench, to the penalty box rather. 2 minutes for hooking there as the Saints did a good job getting the puck out of their zone and applying some pressure even while shorthanded, enough to generate a penalty call on Agostino. So we'll have 12 seconds rather, of 4-on-4 play here before the Saints get an abbreviated minute 48-second power play.
Bulldogs will look to stretch the ice as there's more room to work around. Carey with the puck in the corner. Carey again. We have Flanagan. Flanagan motioning with his head that the player's out of the box. Shot by Flanagan off the stick of O'Gara. And the Saints now are up a man 5-4 on the power play.
Can also report, folks, that George Hughes is back on the St. Lawrence bench coming out of the tunnel there. Seems to be okay.
Flanagan to Baker, up to Martin. Malcolm coming out of his net. Ruffalo trying to get out for the Bulldogs. As Lagunier picks it up in the neutral zone. Lagunier looking for a shot picked up by Young off the stick of a defenseman. Lagunier still with the puck on the penalty kill, trying to kill time. About a minute left here. A man down. Puck up to Bourbonnais. Shot by Bourbonnais. Goes wide. Baker back to Hughes.
The Bulldogs generating more chances here on this penalty kill than they have on offense all night.
Well, Hughes coming out of his own zone over to Baker. Martin gaining the zone over to Carey. Martin on the far side. Back to Flanagan. Flanagan was trying to get a mover on Fallon, but Fallon is not going to fall for it as Flanagan now comes up to the blue line over to Hughes. Fakes a shot. Shot by Carey there. Hughes again with the puck. Back over to Baker. Baker to Hughes. Hughes over to Flanagan. Trying to set up a play. Dewick is there to break it up as the clock runs down here. About 15 seconds left. Dewick over to Balch. Straight off the bench. Shot by Balch. Rebound right over the bar.
Wow, that one landed there on the top of the net as Balch got a stick on it in a second chance opportunity.
Saints now coming down on offense. Hughes coming around the back of the net. Yale unable to get the puck off his stick. Passes it back to Carey. Carey looking for him in front of the net. Misses his stick.
And we're at even strength now, folks.
Dewey picks up, shoots it back into the zone. About a minute left here to play in the first period at Ingles Rink. Young up to Weberg. Weberg coming through the neutral zone very quick. Trying to get around Dewey. Comes around the back of the net. Finds O'Gara. O'Gara shot and save. And Winter score for the Bulldogs!
Kenny Agostino gets the goal there. He lights the lamp this year. First goal for the Bulldogs at home this season. Got real started there. The Bulldogs moved the puck into the zone, and Rob O'Gara fired a wrister from the point on net. Agostino just cleaned out the garbage in the front there, much to the joy of this Ingles crowd who at times last night got a little frustrated. The Bulldogs came close but just couldn't put one home. And that's a real great chance there for the Bulldogs to take a lead here with 1 minute left in the first. Hopefully they can hold it into intermission.
I think that took St. Lawrence by surprise as O'Gara's initial shot wasn't that strong. Beatty now in front of the net all by himself. Backhander off of Winninger's pad. Very nice job by Agostino finishing that rebound. Fallon flicks it back into St. Lawrence's end as Miller picks it up behind the net. Icing is called off. Miller now back up to Fallon. Fallon to Miller. Miller coming around the top. Shot by Dewick looking for a backdoor. Root does not have his stick on the ice. Root gets nailed into the boards, but he's able to pick up the puck. Backhand by Root just off the side of the net. Hughes trying to kill time back over to Rayleigh. Rayleigh takes out Miller. Rayleigh now with the puck, about 10 seconds left to play. Thompson, Dewick with a nice step off the red line. Lagunier goes down into the referee as O'Gara shoots it up to Ruffalo. And that will be the whistle here at Ingles. End of the first period.
Wow, tough first period there. Great job by the Bulldogs. They weathered the storm a bit early on. We certainly saw here why St. Lawrence has that reputation of an offensive juggernaut that they've had recently. They generated a good set of scoring opportunities there early on, staked a huge advantage of the shots. But the Bulldogs held firm, and they were not going to accept being pummeled in their own defensive zone the entire period. Became more aggressive as the frame went on and finally knocked that one in there just over a minute to go and held on with the lead. Certainly something that will give them a fantastic amount of momentum coming into the second period. So we're going to head to break now, but stay tuned, folks. I'll look forward to speaking again with Chip Malafronte, beat writer for the New Haven Register, in just a few moments. You're watching Yale Men's Ice Hockey on Yale All Access.
I'm Andrew Miller, number 17. Stay tuned for more Yale men's hockey on Yale All Access.
Welcome back to David S. Ingles Rink here during our first intermission report. I'm Max Valenstein, joined here by Chip Malafronte, beat writer for the New Haven Register, to talk a little bit about what we saw there in the first period. Certainly a much more up-tempo game than we saw last night. Both teams going at it back and forth. Yale at points weathering the storm. I was very impressed by the power play that St. Lawrence put out there with Carey and Flanagan working together.
Right, yeah. St. Lawrence has got a couple of high-powered forwards, and I think they got off to a nice start. It really seemed almost like two different periods. I thought the first 10 minutes, St. Lawrence was really able to establish a flow and attack a lot. Yale seemed kind of unsure of itself, and then the second 10 minutes, Yale was kind of able to find its feet. They took advantage of the power play and were able to create some chances, and obviously take advantage of one there late.
Absolutely, the Bulldogs to some benefit, just kind of holding on there in the start of the period, especially as St. Lawrence had two power play opportunities where they really moved the puck around well, and the Yale D-men were hemmed in there for long changes. But as you mentioned, as the period went on, the Bulldogs really started to get their feet under them and developed a little more pressure in the offensive zone, which ultimately led to that goal there.
Yeah, it was almost like a continuation of last night. I think what we saw in the third period last night, it was just a lot of disjointed skating. It just didn't seem to be meshing together, and it kind of took them that time to find their feet as well. And I think that comes with being a young team, and I think you're going to see stretches like that where they're going to struggle to kind of find each other and really find a rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're dressing, three more underclass or three more freshman defensemen again today, it's definitely important for this team to develop, and they're going to have a fantastic opportunity to develop against these talents here. And then looking around the ECAC tonight, I know I have my eyes on that Union-Dartmouth game going on up in Hanover. Dartmouth, the only undefeated team left in the nation in hockey. Incredible. I don't think anybody would have predicted that about 5 or 6 games into the year, but that's the ECAC for you.
It absolutely is, and I think you could probably say the same thing about 3 or 4 other teams in the ECAC. I don't think people really expected St. Lawrence to be as good as they are, and obviously with Carey and Flanagan, they've got the nucleus there, but they really exceeded expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. They finished the second half of the year well. I remember last year, and about midway through the year, they were down on the bottom of the standings, and they clawed their way back up to finish in the middle of the pack last year. But I don't think anybody thought going in this year they would blank Maine and get 2 big wins against them, sweeping them, and then really start to pick it up as the ECAC season went on. But, they tied Brown last night. Brown played well. Around the league, Princeton got a big win over Cornell, and they won again this afternoon against their traveling partner, Colgate. So it's just a giant mix.
I think you have to wonder, too, about St. Lawrence, how much the coaching situation has played into that. I know last year they were kind of unsure of themselves. Joe Marsh was, kind of in and out. He was, obviously overcoming some medical problems, and now that he's retired and they've kind of got their coaching situation squared away. You wonder how much that just plays into the whole mentality of just a little stability as far as the players go.
Yeah, absolutely. Stability, fantastic there. And, of course, Joe Marsh, a tough act to replace up in Canton, a part of that program for quite some time. And I heard about the fantastic retirement ceremony they held for him last weekend up there with tons of former players and the current players all getting together to really to celebrate the coaching career of a guy who's really helped put St. Lawrence hockey on the map.
Yeah, he was a guy who was as successful as he did it the right way. And he was one of the guys who really any coach in the country looked up, and they kind of wanted to be like Joe Marsh and run a program like he did with the class that he did it, and the way he was able to graduate kids and develop hockey here was really, really impressive, really something special.
Absolutely, and some could even argue that the Bulldogs are trying to build Coach Elaine's time here in New Haven into a bit of a Joe Marsh period as well. He's really helped to put the Yale hockey program on the map. The recruiting classes that have come in under Elaine have really established Yale as a national contender now. Every year when you talk about teams that could contend for the Frozen Four for the NCAA tournament, you have to talk about Yale now, and you have to talk about other programs in the ECAC.
And it's another good class, and it's I like what I've seen out of these Yale freshmen so far. Really, Rob O'Gara, and he had a nice first half. He was able to take a great shot there from point that set up that first goal. He's really one of the kids that we're keeping an eye on this year.
Absolutely, that strong wrist shot from Rob O'Gara from the point set up Kenny Agostino right on the doorstep, kind of just like how Clarkson scored their game winner last night here at Ingles. So let's take a moment now to look at some of the statistics here from this first period of play. Thank you, Chip, for coming on. Look forward to speaking with you in the future. Looking at the stats we've seen so far, unofficially, the St. Lawrence Saints led the shot total 13-10 13 saves for goaltender Jeff Malcolm for the Bulldogs, adding to already an impressive save percentage this year. 9 saves for Matt Wenninger for the St. Lawrence Saints. The Bulldogs were 0 for 1 on the power play there. The Saints 0 for 2. And looking at neither team obviously scoring on the power play. 4 penalty minutes for the Bulldogs, 2 for the Saints. So now as the officials skate back out onto the ice here at Ingalls Rink, we'll get ready to rejoin for our coverage of the second period. Taking a quick look at the other statistics we have available to us here. Thanks to the wonderful staff at Ingalls Rink, we can tell you that the Bulldogs dropped 9 out of 20 faceoffs. The Saints won 11 of the 20 opportunities on the dot this period. And looking at the shot chart again, a luxury we have up here in the booth, we can tell you that the Bulldogs did a terrific job last night, especially compared to last night, of getting shots from in close on net. We see, just looking at the shot chart here, Beattie a couple, Balch a couple opportunities, Agostino 2 opportunities, 1 that ultimately resulted in that goal there for the Elis, just right on the doorstep, which, it's a terrific asset to have and to really be able to just generate a lot of pressure in on net on the goaltender. So we welcome back in Adela Adams here. Addie, what did you see in that first period for this Yale team?
Well, Yale's doing a nice job defensively, trying to keep out Flanagan and Carey. They've been containing them well. Did a nice job on the penalty kill. Wonderful goal. Loved the shot from Rob O'Gara from the point. Agostino there just to bang it back to the net.
Absolutely, Addie. I love that shot from Rob O'Gara as well. Something we talked about with, or something I discussed with Chip Malafronte during that first intermission. He says he's really liked what he's seen from Rob O'Gara so far. This being tonight being Chip's second opportunity to see this young Bulldog team. So as the players and everybody get ready to settle on the ice, we'll take a quick look at other action going on in the league tonight. Clarkson and Brown tied at 3. Colgate fell to Princeton 4-0 in the earlier games, and we'll get you the rest of the scores at stoppage soon.
Draw off the face-off here in the second period, won by St. Lawrence. Now coming into the Bulldogs' end as O'Gara working to get the puck away from Flanagan in the corner. Young Flanagan shoots it out in the middle, picked up by Miller. Miller looking for Agostino, but decides to shoot it back into the zone instead, and covered by Wenninger.
Yeah, Agostino there in on the doorstep again, forces Wenninger to cover up the puck. I've really been impressed the past 2 nights with this Root, Agostino, Miller line. They've done a terrific job, best in my opinion of all the Yale lines that we've seen from Coach Elaine so far, and generating offense and moving the puck around. At times it feels like they're out on the power play out there, even playing even strength.
Could come from years of experience playing together here at Yale. St. Lawrence coming out of their own end as Martin now comes through the neutral zone, and an offsides will be called on McGovern.
Well, the Elis here have to be coming into the second period with a bit of momentum. Always those late goals are incredibly important. They added that late goal there with just over a minute left in the first period. I'm sure they're hoping to continue and play with some stride in their step here and to begin the second period.
Great feeling for them coming in up a goal instead of just 0-0 as we did last night against Clarkson in the second period. Draw 1 back to Baker, who shoots it in to the Bulldogs' end. Dewick now trying to get it out. McGovern over to Martin. Martin in the corner, challenged by Obuchowski with a nice hit. Martin struggling to get the puck away from Obuchowski as he's applying hard pressure. Martin now behind the net. Obuchowski pokes it away. Carey to pick it up. Martin coming up the side. Baker pinches down as Carey comes out from behind the net. He trips over his own skate as Dewick picks up the puck up to Lagunier. Lagunier over the blue line, over the red line, drops it to Ruffalo. Coming around the side, shot into the face mask of Wenninger.
All right, great move by Ruffalo there to buy himself some space and a wide open wrister.
Looking for a play as Wick gets a shot off there wide of the net. Carey looking for another shot, whiffs on that. Bourbonnais trying to pick it up. Ruffalo goes down. Killian doing a nice job of following the play. Puck back to Fallon. Picked up by Esri. Dewey shoots it back in. Hits the skate of Ruffalo. Thompson now trying to gain some momentum for St. Lawrence offense. Shot by Wick off the stick of Essery. Essery and Bourbonnais going at in the corner. It'll be a delayed penalty.
And Bourbonnais is going to sit 2 minutes there for the hold. Initially playing good defense there on the St. Lawrence forward, Tommy Thompson, but just got a hold on him at the last minute as Thompson escaped. So Clinton Bourbonnais is going to sit 2 minutes here, and the St. Lawrence power play is going to have their third opportunity of the night, 0 for 2 thus far. And one thing we've really noticed on the St. Lawrence power play, they really love to have that Flanagan to Carey sharp angle one-time look, and that's the exact setup they used to beat the Bulldogs here a year ago in Ingles in overtime.
Bulldogs will have to be wary of the back door. Carey back to Flanagan. Flanagan into the slot, wide open Martin in front of the net. Hughes and Flanagan working on the sideboard. Puck back up to Hughes, not able to hold the line, out of the zone for the Bulldogs. Balch and Wilson at the top of the box on the penalty kill with Young and O'Gara. We've seen a lot so far, being consistent on defense. There's about 1:30 left on the penalty kill for the Bulldogs as they get a switch here. Root coming onto the ice now. Baker with the puck in the neutral zone, shoots it over to Flanagan, cross ice, back over to Hughes here, who slaps it into the Bulldogs' end. Root chips it out of the zone again. Bulldogs doing a nice job of breaking up St. Lawrence's power play, not allowing them to set up.
Dangerous chip there for Root. That one almost found its way over the glass. It would have been a second penalty on the Bulldogs.
And St. Lawrence will come out of their end with Flanagan being stopped by Cooper. Hughes looking for Carey on the sideboard, and an icing will be called.
A great opportunity there for the Bulldogs. I'll finish up what I was going through earlier, the out-of-town scores today. Clarkson and Brown tied at 3 in the earlier game this afternoon at 4. Princeton 4-0 winners over Colgate. A big weekend for them, beating Cornell last night. Harvard's leading RPI 2-0 up in Cambridge. Cornell and Quinnipiac, no score so far in the first, and Dartmouth currently 1-0 leaders over Union in Hanover.
Yale loses the draw as the Saints are able to get out of their own end. Carey now bringing the puck around the boards over to Flanagan. Dewey holding the line. About 30 seconds left to kill here in the penalty for the Bulldogs. Carey with the puck on the side cycles it back to Flanagan. Dewey with a nice hit on Flanagan. Carey turns away up to Dewey, and Agostino gets it out of the zone for the Bulldogs. Puck back over to Armstrong as he shoots it into the end. Glove down by Fallon. Fallon finds his defensive partner Dewey, who shoots it up to Ruffalo, who's one-on-one with Dewey and covered by Winninger.
That's a bit of a dangerous play there for Winninger. He did a good job to cover that one up. That puck is bouncing in awkwardly in on net, and no matter how well Winninger tries to cover that puck up, that could have resulted in a rebound anyway with Ruffalo coming in. Could have been another dangerous opportunity for this Yale squad, but Winninger did a really good job to stifle that bouncing puck and just prevent anything from developing further there.
The Saints will put their third unit out there as their penalty winds down. Bulldogs now at even strength as Bourbonnais takes the ice with line mates Lagunier and Ruffalo. Puck shot up, thankfully does not find the stick of a Saint. Essery into the boards off of Bourbonnais. Young now with the puck, looking for Ruffalo. Backhands it up the ice. Picked up by Rayleigh. Rayleigh off the boards over to Hughes. Hughes up the boards over to Wick. Coming into the zone. He gets a shot. Stop by Young. Shot off the chest pads of Malcolm.
I don't know if Jeff saw that one there through a lot of traffic.
Lagunier off the boards up to Ruffalo, who finds Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais with a shot right over the corner of the net. Balch coming off the bench, trying to keep the puck in the zone. Picked up by the Saints as they enter. Shot by Wick, and Malcolm keeps it there.
Some more good rebound control for the Yale netminder, who now has made 16 saves on the evening. He saved all 16 of St. Lawrence's unofficial shots so far. The Bulldogs have put 12 shots on Matt Winninger, 11 saves for the St. Lawrence netminder.
Pretty even in shots here as the Bulldogs are up 1-0 at Ingles against the St. Lawrence Saints. Fallon Doing a nice job pinning in the corner. Beatty gets it out of the zone. Balch racing with Dewey down the ice. Balch trying to get there before Winninger, but is not successful. Puck through the neutral zone as Brukel picks it up. Shoots it in. Killian now trying to keep Stratford off the puck. Puck now up to Balch. Balch dumps it into the zone to get a line change for the Bulldogs. Fresh legs out on the ice as Day and Weberg come off the bench with Stu Wilson. Wilson in the corner, picked up by Austin. Austin up through the neutral zone, trying to find Stratford under the glove of Malcolm as Young is there to save him. Young up to Day. Day gains the red line, backhands it off the boards. Saints trying to keep the Bulldogs from getting any type of offensive opportunity here in the second period. Cooper against the boards, fighting for the puck as Baker comes out of the fray with it. Brukel trying to get it out of the zone. Young gloves it down over to O'Gara. O'Gara, a Boston Bruins draft pick for Yale's defense. We now see Miller coming onto the ice, helping out Weberg and Cooper on the far side. Puck picked up by Duick, shot by Duick into the glove of Winninger.
And the Bulldogs now will have a chance to finish that line change. They were about halfway through, getting Root and Agostino out there to join Miller. Miller hopped on a little earlier, but that's something that Keith Elaine is probably totally fine with. Andrew Miller, a known playmaker, he's probably an asset to any single line out there the Bulldogs can put out that he's on.
Team captain Andrew Miller currently with 4 assists so far this season. Wins the draw for the Bulldogs. Back to Duick. Shot by Duick into the pads of Winninger. And Agostino will go down. We've seen Agostino get a little chippy with some of the Saints players in front of the net.
Yeah, it seems like the hitting has dropped off a little bit over the past couple minutes here in the second period from where it was at the first, but as with all these close ECAC games, I expect it'll pick up as we move along here.
Saints still doing a nice job protecting their goaltender. Off the faceoff, one back to Hughes. Hughes back over behind the net. Saints now coming through the neutral zone. Duick steps up on defense up to Root. Root chips it out of the zone. Miller and Agostino on the forecheck. Hughes picks it up, slides it over to Rayleigh. Rayleigh gains the neutral zone for St. Lawrence. Malcolm behind the net, smart play over to Duick. In for the net, shot, saved by Malcolm. Root back to Duick. Duick away from pressure as he finds Agostino on the sideboard. Miller, very speedy Miller, coming out for the middle of the ice. Root now tips it back to Miller. Miller dumps it in for Agostino as he gets off the ice. Agostino loses his stick. Wilson coming hard off the bench. Martin with the puck for St. Lawrence. Dumps it into the Bulldog zone, picked up by Killian. Killian slides it up to Beatty. And Wilson now with the puck around his defender there. Balch with a very fast forecheck. Balch struggling to keep possession as the Saints now come out successful with the puck. Wick looking for his teammate there. Fallon doing a nice job of pinning on the boards. Beatty gets it out of the zone for the Bulldogs.
Well, Yale doing a much better job of...
Wick now with the puck looking for a shot. Shot right there off the pipe, it looks like. Tipped out of the zone by Killian now up to Weberg. Weberg with a one-on-one. Shot by Weberg just wide of the post. Picked up now by Day. Very hard hit on Day, loses his stick. A little surprised there that hit came. Cooper trying to get the puck off the boards. Day seems to be okay as he's still on the ice. Baker fighting with Cooper for possession. Weberg joins in. Looks like a hand pass there.
And the officials will blow it dead for exactly that reason. So a face-off coming to the right of Matt Winninger there. We talk about Carson Cooper. He's been a part of a really aggressive forecheck thus far for the Bulldogs. He's playing in his 6th game here as a member of the CL squad. Freshman from Bow Island, Alberta. Has been really part of this aggressive forecheck we've seen here at home over the past couple of days.
And Miller, Root, and Agostino, shot by Miller, will now take the face-off for the Bulldogs. Agostino on the side, nice move away from his defender. Agostino looking for Young on the point. Young trying to keep in the zone, picked up by Miller. Miller shoots it over to the other side. Armstrong and Root going at it on the sideboards. Puck up to McGovern, who comes in through the zone. Shot saved by Malcolm. Stick trying to find Essery off the rebound. Malcolm doing a nice job tipping it all the way back into the corner, flicked out by Agostino.
And onto the Yale bench there. So we got 10:50 here left in the second period from David S. Inglesrink. I'm Max Valenstein alongside Adlam Adams, covering Yale men's ice hockey today against the visiting St. Lawrence Saints, who made the trip down from Canton, New York, by way of Providence, Rhode Island last night, where they tied the Brown Bears.
Bourbonnais will take the face-off for Yale, wins it back to Obuchowski. Obuchowski now smartly plays it back to Duick. Duick coming out from behind the net up to Bourbonnais. Rayleigh there to pick it up as he shoots it off the glass to himself. Lagagnier behind the net, up to his point, Obuchowski. Obuchowski shot and off the skate of Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais coming from behind the net, trying to wrap it around. Shot out of the zone by Flanagan, or excuse me, Doherty back into the zone for the Bulldogs. Hughes with the puck, shoots it out. Obuchowski picks it up. Bourbonnais with a huge hit there. Obuchowski up to Ruffalo. Ruffalo finds Lagagnier in the middle. Shot by Lagagnier, gloved down by Winninger.
A good hard shot there, and Lagagnier, or rather that's George Hughes there for St. Lawrence, their assistant captain, arguing that he received a little bit of a shot from Lagagnier as the whistle blew and Lagagnier skated by. No penalties coming from it, but perhaps the chippiness will pick up here over the next couple of minutes as the physicality, again, starting to make itself apparent after the whistle's blown.
I'd be really interested to hear what they're actually saying to each other. I'm sure they're pretty witty and clever down there on the ice in front of the net.
Well, we just had one of the officials skating over to the, we will see Lagagnier sitting here, rather. So we just had one of the officials skate over to the referee's circle and say something to our officiating crew working there in between the penalty boxes. And as a result, Antoine Lagagnier is sitting in the penalty box. Unclear yet what the call was. But the Bulldogs do have 5 skaters out on the ice.
Bulldogs still even strength with Antoine Lagagnier in the box. Puck goes behind the Bulldogs net, cleared by Malcolm over to Killian. Puck up to Day, trying to get out of the zone. Referee hit hard as Cooper tries to take out Austin on the side there. Looks like he's bent over. Took the brunt of that hit from Cooper.
Addy, I didn't see that there. Was that offsides, or did they blow the play dead because our official was on the receiving end of quite a big collision?
I believe it was an actual offsides call, but that could be another reason why the whistle was blown.
Absolutely. So take a moment here and hope he's doing okay there on the far boards. We can report to you that Lagagnier is going to be sitting in the box here for 10 minutes now for a misconduct to receive, perhaps for some kind of conversation he had, as that's linesman Leo Boylan, who's now being attended to at the Yale bench. Perhaps he's bleeding in some way. We want to take a chance to look at some of the upcoming broadcasts we're bringing you here on Yale All Access. We'll be covering men's home games on December 1st, December 7th, and December 8th. And then beyond that, I believe on December 10th. On December 1st, the Bulldogs are going to welcome in the Brown Bears. That's a Saturday night game. The next weekend, on Friday, they'll be hosting the RPI Engineers. And the next evening, the Union Dutchmen, currently a top 10 team nationally, will be in town. The Union Dutchmen now on the road in Hanover, New Hampshire. Just to keep you updated on the out-of-town ECAC scores, Dartmouth leading that game 1-0. Dartmouth has had a really impressive start to the year. Obviously that big win over these Yale Bulldogs last weekend, but Dartmouth now the only undefeated team remaining in men's NCAA Division I hockey. And Dartmouth, obviously a very good team, but not one many people predicted to be on top of the ECAC early on here. True testament to the up and down power of this conference. Around the rest of the league, Cornell and Quinnipiac, I see no score here, though my scoreboard showing they're still in the first period. I can't imagine that's true with that game starting just up the road in Hamden, Connecticut, around the same time ours did here in New Haven. Harvard still leading those RPI Engineers 2-0 in Cambridge. And we also have, that's the rest of the games going on here, excuse me, as all the officials look to be doing okay now. Leo Boylan back out on the ice, skating around as the players now get a chance to take a quick lap around the rink as we get ready here for the face-off.
Definitely be a tough loss for the Bulldogs with Lagunier in the box, who had 6 points in 5 games. Ball's trying to slide puck over to Beatty, cleared back behind the net by Austin. Martin back to Dewey. Balch on the forecheck, picks up the puck on the side, trying to cycle back to his teammates. Carey trying to get out of his zone. Balch comes out with the puck. Young wide open in front of the net, coming down into the slot from the point. Young now with the puck, looking for a backhand shot, loses it up to Carey. Carey and Martin with a 2-on-1 on O'Gara. Carey goes up, shot by Martin, saved by Malcolm.
That's a great save by Malcolm there.
Wilson now gets it out of the zone for the Bulldogs off of an interception. O'Gara coming on hard, the forecheck. Wilson over to Agostino, just misses the stick of Agostino. Agostino now on the side as it's shot out of the zone, misses the skate of O'Gara. Obuchowski going back on defense for the Bulldogs. We now have 2 freshman defensemen out there for the Bulldogs, Obuchowski and O'Gara. Puck in front of the net for the Bulldogs. Agostino there to get it out of the zone with Miller. Miller root Agostino 3-on-2 here as they enter the offensive zone. Shot by Miller. Score for the Bulldogs. Got a fist bump from Miller.
Oh boy, Andrew Miller. Fantastic wrist shot there. And what I really love that Andrew Miller did on that play is on the 3-on-2, as he saw that St. Lawrence defenseman had his 2 partners there, Jesse Root and Kenny Agostino tied up, he slowed down, slowed the play down there, and allowed those 2 Yale forwards and their associated St. Lawrence defensemen to come in front of the net and put a screen on Matt Wenninger. And then we just saw that lethal wrist shot, glove side, up high from Andrew Miller, give the Bulldogs a 2-0 edge here.
Could literally see Miller set up and just fire that puck into the back of the net. Beautiful shot. Being selfish there, definitely the right choice. Shot off of Malcolm as the Bulldogs are now up 2-0 in the second period here at Ingalls. Puck out of the zone by Day. Hughes picks it up, shoots it over to Rayleigh.
So we see Anthony Day here is double shifting now on the line, filling in for Antoine Lagunier, who's going to be sitting for another couple minutes in the penalty box for that misconduct. I was curious to see who Coach Elaine was going to have double shift out there, and it is going to be sophomore Anthony Day, 5'9", 175 of Buffalo, New York, playing now in his 6th game this year with the Bulldogs.
Anthony Day looking to put up his first point of the season here as Bourbonnais takes the draw for the Bulldogs, wins it back, shot by Ruffalo just off the stick of Winninger. Puck behind the net, Hughes over to Rayleigh. Rayleigh shoots it over to Doherty. Doherty on the side. Back up to Hughes, shot by Hughes, blocked by Dewick. Cooper on the far side with the puck, slides it up to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais over to Ruffalo. Obuchowski following the play from behind, trying to find Cooper's stick, is now in the end for the Saints. Flanagan now coming up the ice for St. Lawrence, stopped by Obuchowski. Obuchowski doing a nice job of containing Flanagan. Wilson over to Beatty, shot back into the zone.
And Wilson was knocked down behind the play, so the St. Lawrence Saints are going to sit 2 minutes here for roughing. It's going to be Kyle Flanagan, their leader, heading off. And the Bulldogs are now going to get a great opportunity here to extend their lead on the power play. Have to imagine that Keith Elaine's going to turn right to that Root Agostino Miller line to jump back. Already produced 2 great goals today for the Elis.
And as Lagunier is still in the box, Day will now join the first power play unit for the Bulldogs. Also, Tommy Fallon, a consistent presence on the power play, back on defense. Root will take the draw for the Bulldogs against Essery on penalty kill. Miller now with the puck on the blue line. Miller over to Fallon. Fallon back to Miller. Miller with a shot, tees up, just wide of the net. Root on the sideboard for the Bulldogs. Agostino comes in to pick it up. Coming around, facing hard pressure. Shot by Agostino just over the crossbar. Root goes down in the corner. Day is there to help him as Root now picks up the puck, getting around Dewey. Root trying to wrap it around the side there. Fallon unable to hold the zone for the Bulldogs. Fallon back over to Miller. Miller up the ice for the Bulldogs. Puck taken away by Wick. Wick one-on-one with Fallon. Also has Essery. Miller getting back on defense. Shot over to Hughes. Hughes right to Essery. Shot and score for St. Lawrence.
The Yale got a little caught up there, partly in a change and partly just watching the wrong guys. They failed to see Essery, or rather not Essery, they failed to see obviously Lawrence player breaking in here on the near side, and he just fed it out to an open guy in front of the net. Only one man back home for the Eli's, not enough to counter that St. Lawrence penalty kill unit. Quite a strong one. So even here with the Bulldogs on the power play, St. Lawrence and their high-scoring, high-flying offense finds a way to add a goal.
Very disheartening for the Bulldogs power play. Trying to gain some more momentum here as O'Gara dumps it into the zone. Wilson off the boards over to Bourbonnais. We see a new energy in the Bulldogs as they try and keep their 2-1 lead here in the second period at Ingles Rink. Bourbonnais back behind the net looking for Wilson. Play is broken up by Hughes. Shot out of the zone by Gunnar Hughes. Both Hughes brothers on the ice right now for the Saints. Puck up to Killian. Killian back over to Ruffalo. Ruffalo, dangerous play there. Finds Wilson. Wilson trying to get in front of the net. Squirts out to O'Gara. O'Gara shot and blocked by the pad of Winninger. Bourbonnais goes down face first into the boards. Well-deserved penalty here.
Yeah, late hit there. Cross-check going to be called against Patrick Doherty for knocking down Clinton Bourbonnais there. Just going back a moment, that was Kyle Essery getting the goal for the Saints off a feed from George Hughes. Jeremy Wick there also picking up the secondary assist. But a great opportunity here for the Bulldogs to respond to that St. Lawrence goal. They're going to have 32 seconds here of a 5-on-3 power play with both Flanagan and Doherty in the box. And even after Flanagan's penalty expires in about half a minute, the Bulldogs will still be looking at a minute 28 on the power play.
We haven't seen a 5-on-3 power play yet for the Bulldogs here at home. As Fallon over to Miller, we have the first unit out for the Bulldogs. Miller back over to Fallon. Fallon leaves it for Agostino. Agostino to Miller. Miller back to Fallon. One-timer just wide of the net there through the crease. Miller picks it up on the side. Miller shot and just wide of the post again. Agostino now back over to Miller. Miller to Fallon. 8 seconds left here on the 5-on-3 for the Bulldogs. Miller and Fallon working, drops it for Agostino. Agostino poke, checked away by Baker. Miller now. And we have 5-on-4 for the Bulldogs as Flanagan now joins them on the penalty kill. And a minute 20 seconds left for the Bulldogs. Beatty trying to take out Dewey there. It is successful. Root back up to Agostino. Agostino over to Fallon. Fallon to Agostino on the side. Shot by Agostino. Shot again by Beatty. Or Root off the rebound there. Shot down deep into the Bulldogs' end.
And the St. Lawrence fans here salute their penalty killers who managed to hold off those 32 seconds of 5-on-3 and then dump the puck down about half a minute later.
Miller leading the charge down the ice for the Bulldogs. Challenged by Austin behind the net. Wilson, Miller, and Bourbonnais for the Bulldogs on the power play. We also have Ruffalo and Killian. Puck picked out and shot out of the zone by Wick. Malcolm picks it up as we have 30 seconds left on the power play for the Eli's. O'Gara comes out from behind the net. Back over Ruffalo. Ruffalo gains the neutral zone. Dumps it in. Shot back up the boards by Wick. St. Lawrence doing a nice job of containing the Bulldogs' power play here.
Yeah, this has been a real good penalty kill for the Saints. The Bulldogs haven't had anything set up since that 5-on-3 expired about a minute and a half ago.
Living up to their number 4 national ranking on the penalty kill as the Saints are now even strength with the Bulldogs. We have a 2-on-1 on Rob O'Gara. Doherty over to McGovern. It is stopped by Cooper on the back check. Killian now coming out from defense, backhands it into the zone. Weberg coming in strong right off the bench. Puck picked up there by St. Lawrence over to Doherty. Doherty dumps it in off his backhand. Dewick over to Fallon. Fallon with lots of space there on the far side, streaks through the neutral zone, gains the blue line. Fallon now over to Root, wide open, puck in front of the net, stopped right off the skate of Winninger. Shot again by Agostino, stopped by Winninger.
Wow, great move by Root there.
Now Martin gets around Fallon. Martin and Fallon in the far corner. Miller joins in with Carey. Carey comes out with the puck, backhand just wide of the net. Martin coming around the side, helped out by Baker. Baker shot, trying to get it off the stick of his teammate Thompson there. Thompson back behind the net to Carey. Carey coming out, Baker shot wide of the net. And Armstrong unable to keep it in the zone. Bulldogs will get fresh legs on the ice as Agostino leaves to get on the bench. Dewick now on the side, back over to Young. Young up to Beatty, up to Bourbonnais. Beatty now coming through the slot, right on the stick of Ruffalo, does not get a shot off. Beatty shot and saved by Winninger.
Oh boy, good flurry there for both teams. St. Lawrence put a couple of fantastic opportunities on Jeff Malcolm, nearly banging home the equalizer there. And then the puck all the way down on the other end. The Yale getting a couple of good chances on Matt Wenninger here. 2:20 left in the second period. Lots of twos up on the board. It's 2-1 Yale, 22 shots apiece. 2:20 left in the second period here from Ingles Rink.
Wilson, Balch, and Day will take the ice for the Bulldogs. Balch wins the face-off here in the corner. Aggressively attacked by Austin and Dewey. Dewey throwing out a punch there on Wilson, who's not even close to the puck. O'Gara with a nice pinch there on the sideboards coming off the blue line. Flanagan now through the neutral zone for the Saints. Young there to pick it up. Young back to O'Gara. O'Gara over to Young. Nice defensive work by that duo. Puck into the neutral zone. Austin over to Dewey. Dewey up to Hughes. Flanagan now with the puck in the corner as time winds down in the second period here at Ingles Rink. Flanagan on the side, looking for an outlet as he comes along the blue line, dangerously close. Shot by Flanagan off a stick of a Bulldog. Ball's trying to get out of the zone. Barely there as Rayleigh passes over to Hughes, back to Rayleigh. Rayleigh dumps it in for the Saints. Bourbonnais back off the boards to Young. Young up to Ruffalo, who is checked hard by Martin. Thompson picks it out from the skates of Ruffalo. Now we have Young up to Ruffalo. Ruffalo coming down the sideboards. Taken out by Rayleigh. Beatty in the corner with Ruffalo. Rayleigh hard on defense. Beatty, Ruffalo, and Bourbonnais there. Picked up, shot by Obuchowski right off the stick of Winninger. Beatty in the corner again, back up to Obuchowski. Obuchowski shot off the stick, cleared out by the Saints. Puck now over to Martin with 30 seconds left to play. Stopped by Obuchowski. Obuchowski finds Miller there on the side. Miller, Bourbonnais. Miller fakes a shot, and saved by Winninger.
And Miller get another wide open wrist shot there. He found himself some time and even pump faked that one to see if he could catch Matt Winninger leaning either way, but Miller getting that one there on the second look, in on net. Winninger making a good save and diving out to the side to cover up there.
As you mentioned earlier, Miller being one of the more creative players on the team, he kind of even faked me out on that shot. Shot by Root off the blocker of Winninger. Agostino gets it deep into the zone for the Bulldogs. We have Esserig coming down for the Saints. Shot into the zone by Stratford. Fourth line for St. Lawrence. Fallon with a nice move up to Agostino. Agostino over to Miller. Dumps it in for Root right on net. Cleared out by Winninger as the whistle blows here in the second period of play at Ingles Rink. Bulldogs currently up 2-1 against the St. Lawrence Saints.
Well, a good period there for Yale, Addie. Definitely. The Eli's showing a lot more consistency, a lot more control over the course of the game than they did in the first half of the first period. Pretty even period. Fantastic wrist shot there for Andrew Miller to give the Bulldogs a 2-0 edge, but St. Lawrence isn't going anywhere. This Yale team has got to be well aware of that. Coming back on the penalty kill to make it a 2-1 game. So far the Bulldogs have had have the tough task of keeping Carey and Flanagan off the score sheet, and so far they have been successful. Well, we're going to head to intermission now here, to break here now during the second intermission, but when we come back, we'll be speaking with Bob Logan, Yale hockey veteran and veteran of the NHL, where he played with both the Buffalo Sabres and briefly with the Los Angeles Kings. I'm Max Valentine here with Adeline Adams. Stay tuned, folks.
My name is Jeff Malcolm. You're watching Yale Men's Hockey on Yale All Access. My name is Jeff Malcolm. You're watching Yale Men's Hockey on Yale All Access.
Hello and welcome back to Ingles Rink. I'm Adlon Adams here with Yale All Access. I am rinkside with Bob Logan, great hockey player, Yale class of '86 out of Montreal, Quebec. So what is your favorite Yale hockey memory, Bob?
Well, I guess it was in Ingles Rink, and we were playing in the playoffs, and it was against St. Lawrence, and I got a pass from the other team in overtime, right on my stick to score a game-winning goal.
It's a wonderful memory. Always nice to get the game winner there.
Yes.
You also played for the Buffalo Sabres, drafted in 1982. You played 38 games there in the NHL. Do you have a favorite NHL memory?
I think it was probably my first goal, and it was against my brother, who also played professional hockey. He played for the Blackhawks, and when the first game that I was playing, it was against the Chicago Blackhawks. And again, I was just got the puck and ended up. I wish I could say it was a really fancy goal. It was one of those goals that I just went to the net and knocked it in. But it was that first goal in the NHL that was magical.
As we see here, Yale has a couple draft picks in Augustino and O'Gara. Can you comment on the difference between college and NHL play?
It's a big jump, but just making it and playing in college is an incredible achievement. I guess once you make that step to the pros, all the best players that are playing here on this ice, they're playing at the professional level. So all the guys are a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, but it is a big jump.
Definitely, we always kind of like to joke that going to a Yale hockey game is like going to a professional game for free. The players are so great, so talented. After 2 periods of play, Yale up 2-1. How do you think the team is playing?
This is the first game I've seen this year, and I've been very impressed with the pace of the team. Some good young guys, and I'm excited to see that, that energy, that pace that they've got. It's exciting hockey, and I think they've got a good team.
Definitely is a tribute to the young nature of this team. Is there anything you would like to see the team improve upon as we go into the third period?
That giving up a shorthanded goal is always a heartbreaker, and that happens. You're so focused on the offense that you give up on the defense, and I think just keep the energy, keep going the way they're going. I mean, they are really playing with a lot of good pace, and I think they keep doing that, they're going to be successful.
Would you like to comment on Miller's goal there in the second period?
Special play. He really, as he was entering into the zone, he faked like he was going to pass, and then he kind of delayed, and everyone kind of drifted in, and then he pulled it into the center and just made a beautiful shot to the top shelf. It was a really special, a very pretty goal.
Definitely very beautiful. One for the highlight reel there. Well, thank you so much for talking with us. This is Bob Logan, class of '86 from Yale Hockey.
My pleasure.
you. And now we will take a look at the stats here from the second period. The stats are shown on your screen. So far, Yale and St. Lawrence very close in shots unofficially. Yale with 25, St. Lawrence with 22. Both goaltenders seeming to be on their game. Winninger, as we talked about, being one of the top national players this year. Winninger with 23 saves and Malcolm with 21. Max, would you like to comment on the power plays and penalties we've had so far this game?
Well, absolutely, Addie. One more power play there for the Saints in the second period, 2 for the Bulldogs. Both teams today are 0 for 3 on the power play, and for all we talked about that potent power play of the St. Lawrence Saints, the Bulldogs actually have put up twice as many shots on their power play opportunities as the Saints have. That said, the Saints countered and scored the only goal in an odd man situation there, coming back and scoring shorthanded against the Bulldogs on one of their penalty kills in the second period. Just to recap the scoring, obviously in the first period, Kenny Agostino opened up the scoring, giving the Elis a 1-0 lead, banging home a loose puck in front of the net there on a Rob O'Gara wrist shot. Andrew Miller opened the lead for the Bulldogs in the second period up to 2-0 with a fantastic wrist shot in which he used both Kenny Agostino and Jesse Root as screens out front. And then Kyle Esserly answered for the St. Lawrence Saints in a bit of a defensive confusion for the Elis as they lost track of the St. Lawrence penalty killers within their own defensive zone. And before you knew it, the Saints had banged home 1 goal. And that's where we stand now, 2-1 here as we wind down our coverage in the second intermission. Addie, what do you think this Yale team needs to do to hang on to this lead in the third period?
Well, they're definitely going to need to get some more offensive opportunities. As we saw, Bulldogs are very talented in many ways. Garbage goals, shots, just straight up like we saw Miller's beautiful shot there. This is why I love watching Yale men's hockey so much. They're able to mix it up on the ice. Very different kinds of plays. And we also had Malcolm coming up big on lots of saves. I believe he had 21 saves in the first 2 periods of play.
Well, absolutely, Addie. Jeff Malcolm following up a good outing last night. Unfortunately, coming up short on the 1-0 loss there, but you know, it's tough to win games when your team doesn't score. Either way, Jeff Malcolm making a good number of saves last night already, as you mentioned, 21 this night through 2 periods, and he had a great outing in Cambridge a weekend ago in the Bulldogs' 5-1 win over Harvard on Saturday night. It's absolutely a positive sign for this Yale team to see some consistency there in the net, which is something they've really lacked over the last couple of years since Ryan Rondeau led the Bulldogs into the NCAA tournament in the 2010-2011 season. As both teams now come back out on the ice, and our coverage of the third period here will begin shortly. Looks like both teams just stretching out and getting ready for this period to begin.
You know, Max, we've seen Flanagan out there a lot, one of St. Lawrence's most dangerous players. Last year, he reached the 100-point plateau in his junior year with an assist in the final game of the season. Definitely a high-scoring player, is able to produce on the ice.
Well, absolutely, Addie, and that's just a testament to how well Yale's been playing today. I said going into intermission and coming out of it, same story. This Yale team has thus far pulled off the nearly impossible feat this year of keeping both Kyle Flanagan and Greg Carey off of the score sheet. And if they're going to hang on to this game, they would be wise to do their best to keep those two off from tallying this period as well.
And we will also see Lagunier back on the bench for the Bulldogs as he was out there in the second period with a 10-minute penalty, I think, for mouthing off. I don't see that too often. O'Gara over to Young. And finds Agostino up to Miller right in the middle there, trying to get a one-time pass over on the sideboard. Back up to Young on the point, shoots it over to O'Gara. Picked up by Gunnar Hughes on the near side here. Goes back behind the net. O'Gara flips it up to Miller, gloves it down over to Root on the sideboard. So we have a 2-on-2 for the Bulldogs over to Agostino. Agostino looking for Miller. Miller kicks it back over to Agostino, picked up by Flanagan. Flanagan slides it over to Hughes, but Dewick is there to step up on defense. Again, Flanagan with the puck, just intercepts that shot by Flanagan, saved by Malcolm.
Well, that's a dangerous chance there whenever he gets the puck alone in the slot. Free shot on net.
Bulldogs will have to look to contain him, not let him set up for any open shots like he just had there in the slot. Puck now out of the Bulldogs and deep into the Saints zone. Puck behind the net for the Saints, up to Thompson in the middle circle here as he goes over the blue line. Thompson into the slot. We have a Saints player in the net.
It's Chris Martin there into the net. He was crashing the net, and he took a spill on the far side of Jeff Malcolm and took out the goalpost with him. I think some St. Lawrence fans down there in the corner thought that the puck itself had found its way into the net. They were starting to celebrate down there, getting very excited, but instead it was just Chris Martin, and I'm afraid for the St. Lawrence faithful, you don't get any points for having your right winger sliding into the goal.
Definitely not. Good thing Malcolm was not injured as he's been on a roll tonight here, only allowing 1 goal against St. Lawrence. Bulldogs up 2-1 here at Ingalls early in the start of the third period. Bourbonnais on the draw in the defensive end for the Bulldogs. Bourbonnais wins it back to Duick. Duick shoots it around the boards up to Ruffalo. Ruffalo out of the zone for the Bulldogs. Ruffalo trying to chip it up to Lagunier. Off the referee, back into the zone. Dewey now behind the net decides to come up around and is stopped by Beatty. Wenninger comes way out of his net there to get the puck away from his cage. Fallon with the puck for the Bulldogs. Up the boards to Balch. Balch into the zone. Wenninger again coming off his net with Wilson and Beatty hot on his tail. Killian coming off the point into the corner.
Well, these freshmen, Wilson, Beatty, Cooper, been very aggressive on the forecheck, quick skaters, and they've been in on these opposition goaltenders this entire weekend.
Coach Elaine has definitely been right in trusting those freshmen to be on the ice as rookies, especially on the penalty kill, on the power play. Just in general, we see them a ton, especially Rob O'Gara.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic way for these young players to build their confidence, getting chances to play against some of the best in the nation here, especially, we can't mention enough, Kyle Flanagan this evening, getting the opportunity to try to shut down one of the nation's most prolific scorers.
Last year, Flanagan was among the leaders in points per game with 37 points in 28 games last season. Martin now with the puck on the sideboard, trying to get into the slot. Stopped by Weberg. Weberg up to Lagunier. And offsides will be called.
Just a little out of sync there for the Bulldogs. 17:45 to go here in the third period from Ingalls Rink. I'm Max Valenstein, joined by Adlon Adams, bringing you coverage of Yale men's ice hockey, proudly presented throughout the year and broadcasted for free, folks, by Yale All Access.
Looks like Coach Elaine is switching up the lines as Lagunier joins Cooper and Weberg now. Puck shot into the zone of the Saints. Rayleigh back behind the net over to defensive partner Hughes. Hughes up to Stratford on the boards. Nice job by O'Gara stepping up on the play. Shot back into the zone by Cooper. Hughes there to step up. O'Gara now back into St. Lawrence's end. Rayleigh behind the net over to Hughes. Hughes with time coming up the side here. Back over to Rayleigh, who's wide open as Yale forwards looking to get a change coming off the ice. Fallon shoots it up to Agostino near his own bench. Miller dumps it in with a quick backhand over the blue line. Ranger coming out of his crease to clear that one. Killian again stepping out. Agostino trying to wrap it around behind that shot by Agostino off the side netting on the far side there. Baker with the puck behind the net. Chased down by Root. Is able to hold on to the puck up to Flanagan. Flanagan up to Carey now. Seem to be working together on the same line. Carey dumps it behind the net. O'Gara, Root kicked into Malcolm's pads. Malcolm trying to clinch the puck there as the gets loose and Malcolm goes down. I have no idea where the puck is right now as Miller's trying to maybe get it under his pads.
And finally a whistle there. I could have sworn, I thought Gunnar Hughes had knocked that puck in. I didn't see it cross the line, but I was wholly anticipating that puck to go in the net there. Gunnar Hughes on the wraparound. He can see the frustration as he's come close to banging his stick there against the glass. He had an open net there on his backhand, and somehow the puck managed to stay out of the net. Perhaps it's just going to be one of those nights for Jeff Malcolm and this Yale defense against the St. Lawrence team. Who knows?
You know, I was right there with you, Max. I definitely thought I was going to see a reaction as Hughes would put the puck into the net, but none came, thankfully. The Bulldogs still up 2-1. Glove down by O'Gara. O'Gara looking for Balch on the blue line, stopped by Dewey. Dewey over to Austin. Picked off by Young. Nice interception there as he dumps it back into St. Lawrence's end. Coming out of the zone now is Austin. Austin up to Thompson. Thompson shoots it behind the net, and Malcolm covers it with his glove.
A good stoppage there for Jeff, buying some time for his Yale defense here to regroup. As you mentioned a moment ago, we see rookie coach the St. Lawrence Saints mixing up the lines, bringing Kyle Flanagan and Greg Carey together. Those two, for the most part, play on the first and second units respectively. But here, with only one goal for the Saints thus far into this game, coach trying to mix it up and generate some more chances for his team.
Puck behind the net as Dewick trying to get a play off of the draw, flicked out of the zone by Bourbonnais. Hughes now picks it up, backing into his own zone, shoots it up the boards. Obuchowski there to pick it up as shoots it over to Dewick. Dewick up to Lagunier, slaps it deep into the corner. Ranger coming out of his net. Ruffalo with a missed opportunity there. Coming out from behind the net is Bourbonnais. Goal for the Bulldogs! Wonderful goal there as Ruffalo picks up the garbage in front of the net, just slides it right in.
That's another great forecheck there, and that's exactly what it was, Addie, picking up the garbage. Ruffalo, Bourbonnais, and Lagunier battled hard there beneath the boards. The puck found its way to Bourbonnais in the front of the net. He tried to jam it home. When he was not able to do so, Ruffalo was there to do a good job in his zone to knock that one home. Another goal right with the puck, just squirting in front of Wenninger's net. That's exactly what the Bulldogs need. Those garbage goals count just the same. It's 3-1 Yale.
Case of being in the right place in the right time with your stick on the ice. Yale doing a great job of capitalizing on that. Hughes now coming into the zone for the Bulldogs. Young behind the net. Checked hard by Flanagan. Flanagan comes out with puck possession. Looking for a pass across the slot and is stopped by team captain Miller. Hughes now slides it over to Carey. O'Gara goes down, puck over to Miller. Miller coming through the neutral zone looking for a pass. Slides off his stick there. I don't know if that was intentional as Flanagan now gains the zone for the Saints off his skate, drops it back. Miller dumps it in the zone, getting fresh legs on for the Bulldogs.
For Trent Ruffalo, that was his 6th career goal as an Eli, 3rd this season.
See the strength in the younger players on this team coming out here tonight at Ingles. Armstrong trying to get it out of his end up to Flanagan. Batted down by Wilson, called off on high stick and shot by Carey and save. See Carey there put his head in his hands as he's frustrated, I think, with his own play.
Yeah, so that line there of Ruffalo, Bourbonnais, and Lagunier for the Bulldogs has been a really strong forechecking line tonight, and they sorely missed Antoine Lagunier when he had to sit for 10 minutes there in the second period, but perhaps as a result of that, he's got fresher legs than everyone else out here on the ice. We'll see if that factors in.
Shot by Dewey as the faceoff is won by St. Lawrence. Martin on the side. Bourbonnais takes out Austin. Lagunier now coming down the side with a one hand. There will be a delayed penalty. Ruffalo back up to Bourbonnais off his stick. Play broken up by Doherty.
And speak of the devil, there's Antoine Lagunier using some of those fresh legs to try and just win a puck battle there on the near side. He does a great job. That play started at the Yale blue line when Clinton Bourbonnais laid a hit on a St. Lawrence forward. Antoine Lagunier was off to the races, and he was impeded on the way there by St. Lawrence left winger Tommy Thompson. 6'1" sophomore grabbed a piece of 6'4" Lagunier, preventing him from getting in on net, but taking a 2-minute penalty, and Yale's got a great chance here to add to their lead.
Lagunier showing off his strength as he tried to get that puck in one hand. We'll have a delayed penalty again, this time on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's going to be short-lived there as the Eli's are going to take an interference call right off the face-off. Looks like Jesse Root just didn't allow his defender to escape there as both players battled for the puck as it scored it out of the St. Lawrence zone. So now 4-on-4 here, interesting, for a minute 56. St. Lawrence down 2 goals. I'd really expect to see the ice open up here, a lot of space, and St. Lawrence really needing to generate some offense.
4-on-4 hockey, definitely very enjoyable to watch, as 2 less players on the ice, allowing all the players to gain more speed and space. Agostino now coming down into the Saints end. Puck picked up by Esri as he goes back behind his own net. Bulldogs choosing to have 1 forechecker, 3 players back in the neutral zone. Hughes back over to Rayleigh. Rayleigh shot and saved by Malcolm as it goes over his head, gloves it down, slips out of his glove, picked up by Miller there.
Well, still a great job by Jeff to track that puck. And we got a penalty now
And
coming
Miller,
up. And that's a tough hit along the boards there. You worry and hope Andrew Miller's okay after that.
Miller on his knees, not looking too well there as he gets himself off the ice. That was a very hard, dangerous hit.
Yeah, that was Jeremy Wick there, laid a hit on Andrew Miller coming from the side. Miller is up and skating off on his own power, but he certainly looks to be a little shaken up as he took his time to get up there. And he's hunched over now as he heads to the Yale bench.
Team trainer Cappy steps out on the ice as Miller goes down underneath.
Well, Yale coach Keith Lane not happy about that penalty call there, as or not happy rather about that hit. I assume he's ecstatic about having an extended power play here, but not happy about that hit as Jeremy Wick laid into his captain and leader, Andrew Miller.
Not great to see Andrew Miller come off the ice after scoring for the Bulldogs.
Well, that said, Miller is now making his way back down the tunnel to the bench, which is certainly a very good sign to see. And almost coming out on the ice there for a shift, Bourbonnais coming out instead.
Speaks to his leadership on the team. Even when he goes down and gets hurt, he still wants to be in the action, still wants to be on the ice.
Well, we've got an interesting 4-on-3 situation here. Don't see this all too often.
Puck down into the Bulldogs' end as Malcolm sets it up for Fallon behind the net. Fallon coming out around over to Bourbonnais. Bulldogs trying to take their time here and be smart about this opportunity they have, as there's a minute left on the Yale penalty. We also have 50 seconds left on St. Lawrence's first penalty on number 21, Tommy Thompson.
And Miller back out on the ice now, maneuvering well with the puck.
Miller shot using Dewey as a screen. Very smart play. So we talked about being a very creative player. Fallon now at the point. Back over to Agostino. Shot by Agostino and saved by Winninger.
Well, it's terrific from a Yale fan's perspective to see, Andrew Miller get up and, after a minute, quick look, quick examination down the tunnel, saying, I'm fine, I'm good to go. It's great to see that he was not hurt seriously in any way after that hit. A bit of a tough hit along the boards there. Hit by a guy coming from the side, didn't really see it coming, but he seems to be doing no worse for the wear.
And we will now have Lagunier and Bourbonnais out there with Miller. Miller shot and score for the Bulldogs. Andrew Miller coming up big from the point.
Wow, great job by Miller. Another fantastic shot. We've seen him do it with a nasty wrist shot today, and that was just an absolute bomb from the point. One thing I noticed there on that play, great job. We see Andrew Miller leading the Bulldogs here through the line, so I assume he will get credit for that goal. But I saw Antoine Lagunier in front of Matt Wenninger holding his stick out to the side, screening the goaltender, perhaps even looking for a tip. That said, I don't think he got the tip as Miller led the Bulldogs through the handshake line there. But either way, Lagunier, a great job making sure Wenninger could not see that puck and could not react.
As a goaltender, I would definitely not want Lagunier in front of me. His big, tall frame, he wouldn't be able to see anything. Great teamwork on the goal there for the Bulldogs as they go up 4-1 against the St. Lawrence Saints here at Ingalls. We still have shot and saved by Malcolm. We still have 2 penalties on the clock. One for Yale winding down here. 15 seconds left. It is 4-on-4. Also, St. Lawrence penalty ending as Doherty shoots it over to Flanagan. Austin over to Dewey. Delayed penalty. Richie's arm goes up and the goalie comes out of the net for the Saints. Winninger on the bench now. 5-on-4, 6-on-4. Shot and saved by Malcolm. Malcolm coming up big on that one.
And I think it's 6-on-5 now. Bit of an interesting sequence there. It was, 5-on-3, 5-on-4, 6-on-4, 6-on-5. But they made their way back to even strength. And either way, Rob O'Gara now will sit for the Bulldogs 2 minutes for hooking, it seems. So St. Lawrence, down 4-1, has a chance to show off that national 6th-ranked power play once again. 0 for 4 on the night, I believe.
Bulldogs in a great position here in the third period, up against St. Lawrence by 3 goals. Bulldogs on the penalty kill as O'Gara goes in for hooking on that one. Carey cycles it back over to Hughes at the top of the, and Lagunier comes out there intercepting that. Lagunier trying to get around, move, and picked up by Hughes. Now Rayleigh holding Lagunier by his head in the corner. Coming out of their end is Baker. Baker up to Hughes. Hughes gains the zone for the Saints. Puck back behind the Bulldogs' end as they try and kill off this penalty. Puck over to Baker. Baker fakes the shot back to Flanagan. Flanagan, Carey with a spin move there. Puck goes well wide of the net. Baker again with the puck over to Flanagan. Flanagan on the sideboard to Martin in front of the net. Martin trying to spin it around now. Malcolm dives behind his own net as Martin shoves Young on top of Malcolm.
Well, folks, here at Yellow Access, we're proud to announce we'll be rolling out some new technology over the course of the season. In the upcoming games, they'll be introducing instant replay to our broadcast, courtesy of a generous donation from Steve Kushner, class of 1971, in honor of Yale women's ice hockey player Mandy Schwartz.
Bulldogs will send Root, Fallon, Balch, and Young out on the penalty kill. A minute left here. The Bulldogs are up 4-1. Balch shoots it out of the zone, giving Yale's penalty kill a break. Root off the ice. Looks like we have a broken stick. Wilson now coming out, help him out. We saw a lot of Wilson last night on the penalty kill as well, doing a great job on the forecheck here as he gets the puck taken out by Armstrong. No penalty is called. Dewey coming out from behind his own net. Dewey over to Doherty. Nice hit by Young, taking Doherty out. Puck by Gunnar Hughes up to Armstrong. Armstrong over to Dewey. Armstrong back to Doherty. Shot by Armstrong over onto the glass. Miller now in the corner. Trying to chip it out for the Bulldogs. Armstrong with the puck on the point. Armstrong to Dewey. One-timer by Dewey just past the glove of Malcolm. Behind the net of the Bulldogs. Time winding down. Bulldogs now even strength. Shot by Dewey. Saved by Malcolm. Both teams here 5-on-5. Hit by Hughes on to Miller. Puck now up to Lagunier. Up to Miller through the neutral zone. Miller shoots it over to Lagunier. Getting around Dewey. Shot by Lagunier right into the netting. We saw some hands go up as some Yale fans thought that was a goal. Bourbonnais behind the net. Challenged by Baker. On the sideboards there, Ruffalo keeping it in for the Bulldogs. Bourbonnais coming out from the corner, cycles it back to Ruffalo. Essery and Ruffalo going at it, not even looking at the puck there in the corner. See some elbows going up. Ruffalo now comes out with the puck amid cheers from the Yale student section. Ruffalo back to Day. Day held on the boards by Baker. Get a little chippy here. Under 10 minutes left to play in the game at Ingalls. Dewey puck up to Stratford. Stratford in the neutral zone. Now dumps it in past Duick. Duick patiently waiting as Stratford hits it over to his teammate. Day picks it up on the side. Hard hit by Stratford onto Day. Day just seems to get him beaten up there on the far side lately. Weber coming in on the forecheck. Rayleigh comes out of the zone for the Saints up to Carey. Flanagan gains the blue line. Pass over here to Carey, does not find a stick. Martin picks it up instead. Martin in the corner. Killian hot on his tail. Pass over to Hughes. Shot by Hughes over to Carey there on the back door. Misses his stick. Poked out by Cooper. Puck now over to Hughes. Shot by Hughes. Blocked by Cooper. Great use of his body. We have a lost stick and delayed penalty.
And a penalty there, it's going to be against St. Lawrence for a slash. Tommy Fallon had his stick snapped out of his hands, and it's going to be number 10, Greg Carey, the junior from Hamilton, Ontario, skating off for the Saints, who put forth a pretty good series there, trying to claw their way back into this game. But if they're going to hang on and try and get their way back into this one, they're going to have to fend off another Yale power play here with 7:53 to go. The Bulldogs will skate 5-on-4.
We'll see another combination on the power play. Day, Root, and Agostino on forward, and Fallon and Miller in the back. Miller, who just had that awesome shot from the point recently.
Why wouldn't you put Andrew Miller out there? He's put together 2 beautiful goals. He's got the slap shot, the wrist shot. Maybe it'll be the backhand this time around for Andrew Miller.
Agostino up to Miller on the point. Miller fakes the shot back to Agostino. Agostino to Root in the corner. Root over to Miller. Miller to Fallon. Fallon dumps it back in. Bulldogs doing a nice job of connecting here on the power play. Agostino coming out from behind the net up to Fallon. Fallon up to Miller, intercepted by the Saints. Coming down 2-on-1, delayed penalty shot saved by Malcolm. Miller shot as Agostino goes down with Essery.
Andrew Miller, they're arguing with the officials on behalf of his teammate. It's like Andrew Miller, Yale captain, is going to sit there 2 minutes for a high stick as he tried to fend off that St. Lawrence 2-on-1. They were breaking in hard into the Yale zone, so that'll neutralize the Yale power play we had here. Minute 28 of 4-on-4 play. 4-on-4, something we've seen quite a bit tonight, to be honest, which will be followed by a quick 32-second abbreviated power play for the St. Lawrence Saints.
Saints win the draw with the shot. Another shot score for the Saints.
A little bit of confusion there in front of the net, and the puck just rattled around, found its way to Tommy Thompson, sophomore, 6'1", 188 from Londonderry, New Hampshire, who just wristed that one over the outstretched pads of Jeff Malcolm. That's the type of dangerous thing you can get when that puck is just bouncing around off skates and sticks in front of the net. Just found the tape of the right guy at the right time from the St. Lawrence Saints.
Malcolm definitely didn't really have a chance on that one as he was on the other side of the crease. Still at 4-on-4 here as Yale is now up 4-2 in the third period. Lagunier now coming into the zone for the Bulldogs. Backhand by Lagunier off the shoulder of Wenninger. Thompson coming out. Thompson just scoring for St. Lawrence on a 4-on-4 play. A referee gets in the way. Some disappointment from the crowd as Doherty comes into the zone. Doherty trying to find Hughes off his skate. Intercepted by Dewick. Dewick coming back from defense. Doherty now with the puck. Up to Wick. 4-on-4 here at Ingalls. Both teams with penalties. About 30 seconds left, and the Bulldogs will be on penalty kill as Wilson comes into the zone. Puck over to Austin. Austin to Dewey. Dewey finding Wick in the middle there. Wick gains the zone for the Saints. Stops and turns, looking for his point. Looking for a shot is Austin. Austin coming in right onto Malcolm's pads. Very tight shot there as he got almost in the crease.
A great save by Jeff there here as the St. Lawrence power play is going to start quickly for about 32 seconds here.
Can be very intimidating for a goalie having shots coming in that close. Malcolm doing a nice job of keeping them away. Austin now coming behind the net on the power play. Stopped by Dewick. Dewick up to Weberg. Excuse me, Lagunier. Lagunier over to Ruffalo. Ruffalo over to Obuchowski, who shoots it into St. Lawrence's end. 10 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Bulldogs.
But that penalty kill is now over as the St. Lawrence Saints are going to have to send a player to the box. Too many men on the ice there. A bad change here on the near side. The official deep within St. Lawrence's zone caught that one as Coach Greg Carvel has to figure out now who he's going to send to the penalty box to serve that one.
We've seen some well-deserved penalties, but makes you think if the officials aren't getting a little trigger happy here on the calls.
Absolutely. To some extent, you got to let these guys play. It's going to be Greg Carey who's going to be heading back over to the box to sit another 2 minutes here. So we'll have 10 seconds again of 4-on-4. Funny that. and a 1 minute and 50-second power play for the Eli's.
Draw in the Saints end. One back by St. Lawrence. Flanagan now coming out of his own end. Flanagan looking for a pass across the slot over to Doherty. The Bulldogs are now full strength with Lagunier on the ice. O'Gara wraps it around back over to Bourbonnais. Bulldogs trying to create some space on the power play. Bourbonnais coming out of his own end through the neutral zone, chips it in. Looking for Ruffalo or Lagunier to forecheck on that. Can't get out of the zone. O'Gara does a nice job of holding the blue line to Ruffalo. Shot deflected. Another shot by Lagunier. Bourbonnais back to Ruffalo behind the net. Bulldogs doing a nice job of forechecking and keeping the puck deep in the St. Lawrence end. Lagunier coming out to steal the puck away from Flanagan. Lagunier move, goes down, lost an edge there as a shot back into Yale. O'Gara stops it on his stick. Didn't even see that one. Nice reflexes as Young now comes off the bench. About just under a minute on the power play for the Bulldogs. Shot on net down from St. Lawrence's end. Young behind the net with the puck. Shoots it up to Miller. Miller gains the zone for the Bulldogs around Dewey. Miller into this crease, trying to find Agostino's stick. Dewitt comes off the point. Back to Root. Root on the side, cycles it back to Miller. Miller hit by Baker. Miller again with another hard hit. Puck up to Killian. Killian over to Dewitt. Not the typical power play defensive unit for the Bulldogs. Behind stick call as Agostino shoves Whittinger down, and Dewey takes out Agostino.
Yeah, the fans getting excited here for a couple reasons. I think a couple of them saw that puck there after the whistle blew just slide into the net behind Whittinger. But I think most people focused on some extracurricular activities going on there to Whittinger's right. I'd be curious to see if any penalties come out of this. As you mentioned a moment ago, the officials seem to be very happy with sending guys to the box lately, and there goes Kenny Agostino to the Yale penalty box. Quite a number of penalties here in the latter stages of this third period, and to some extent, you have to say, in a close game, you got to let the guys play a little bit. That's kind of stuff happening after the whistle happens. Tough to send off one player there. Either way, 12 seconds again of 4-on-4. And then we'll see a minute and 48 seconds of that St. Lawrence power play unit.
With all these penalties, it'll be tough for both teams to go back to playing regular 5-on-5 as all the lines have been mixed up continuously here in the third period. Hughes with the puck over to Flanagan. St. Lawrence now full strength with Agostino in the box for the Bulldogs. Minute 42 left on the penalty kill. We have Wilson and Ball to the top of the box with Young and O'Gara in the back. O'Gara in the corner, shoots it around, trying to get it out, slips right past Hughes. Not something we've seen often here as Flanagan now comes back over the blue line. Baker trying to find Carey on the back door, intercepted by Young, who saw that pass coming the entire time.
Yeah, once again, St. Lawrence trying to find Carey on the back door there. It's got to be the 5th or 6th time they've gone through that look tonight.
Doing a nice job of reading that play. Obuchowski now in the corner. Flanagan does not have a stick. Minute left to kill for the Bulldogs. Obuchowski trying to get out. Lagunier is successful. There's a whistle.
Yeah, I think they shot that puck there onto the Yale bench, so that draw is going to come all the way back down to Jeff Malcolm's left. 2:36 here. Max Hohenstein alongside Adlin Adams. Yale All Access bringing you coverage of Yale men's ice hockey against St. Lawrence. And it looks like one of the coaches, unclear who yet, St. Lawrence first-year coach Greg Carvel is going to take his time out here, give his team a chance to regroup with the final 55 seconds on the power play. And then after that, about 2.5 minutes of regulation, 5-on-5, perhaps for the first time in a while, time here. St. Lawrence down 2 goals, 4-2, trying to claw their way back in. The power play, a fantastic opportunity to do that. But even if they can convert with their incredibly highly ranked unit, they're still going to need to add another one, perhaps even strength. begin to wonder at what point Matt Wenninger will make his way to the St. Lawrence bench permanently. I believe some coaches in this kind of situation might even keep the goaltender on the bench right now and try his luck 6-on-4 here for the balance of this power play. But it looks like Wenninger is going to be heading back to the St. Lawrence net here as we get ready to resume play.
And the Bulldogs are up 4-2. 55 seconds left to kill on the penalty. Bourbonnais and Young, along with Lagunier and O'Gara, out there in the box for the Bulldogs. Draw one by St. Lawrence. Hughes over to Carey. Carey looking for Flanagan. Flanagan gloves it down, holds on to possession. Puck up to Hughes on the point. Back over to Flanagan. Hughes calling for the puck. Shot by Flanagan. Stopped by Malcolm.
And Wenninger out near his blue line now, perhaps waiting for a call from the bench to head.
We'll see him scoot back there as Bourbonnais comes down the ice for the Bulldogs, chipping it in. Picked up behind the net by Baker, over to Hughes. Hughes with a slap shot deep into the zone. Picked up by Obuchowski, trying to use that momentum to get out. Balch now with the puck, just safely dumps it back into the corner. 8 seconds left to kill on the penalty here at Ingles. Just under 2 minutes left to play in the game. Hughes behind the net as the Bulldogs are now even strength. Agostino coming right out of the box onto the ice. Malcolm stops behind his own net for Dewick. Dewick up to Root. Puck lost over to Armstrong. Armstrong up to Carey. Puck into the Bulldogs' end as Wenninger comes off onto the bench. Saved by Malcolm.
That puck deflected dangerously off of Essery's skate. It looked like right into Jeff Malcolm's glove, where he covered it up there for his 30th save on the evening now, unofficially. 31st, excuse me, rather. 33 shots unofficially for St. Lawrence. 2 found the back of the net. 31 have found Malcolm's gloves, pads, etc.
Very close and exciting game here at Ingles in the home opening weekend for the Bulldogs. We'll have a draw in the defensive zone for the Bulldogs with Bourbonnais at center. Draw one by St. Lawrence onto Malcolm. We have a hog pile here in front of the net. Ruffalo getting very into it. We have a fight breaking out in the crease for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little chippy right now. And as we said a moment ago, you have to wonder at this point. It's not a question of whether the officials are going to send someone to the penalty box. It's an issue of who it's going to be. But we'll keep our eyes peeled and let you know if anyone does skate in the direction of the penalty box at the moment. Just a quick check at the out-of-town board. We saw Union falling at Dartmouth. Dartmouth 3-2 winners, remaining the only undefeated team in NCAA hockey. They're surely on the map, and I have to imagine they're going to break into the NCAA rankings in a prominent spot when those are released on Monday.
Bourbonnais wins the draw for the Bulldogs. Back to Miller behind the net. Young with the puck in the corner, challenged by Dewey. We have an empty net for St. Lawrence as Wenninger is on the bench. Bourbonnais chips it out. We have some disagreement from St. Lawrence's bench.
Well, the St. Lawrence players on the ice wanted the officials to note that that puck was shot by Yale defenseman up and into the netting behind the Yale cage. St. Lawrence calling for that to get the whistle within the offensive zone. The question for the Bulldogs, or from the question from the Saints is rather whether that was deflected on the way up or whether it's found its way up without bouncing off the glass, whether it's a penalty or not. Either way, it seems like the officials were unclear about what exactly happened, so the faceoff comes out into the neutral zone, but on the Yale side.
Could be a pivotal call for St. Lawrence, as if it had been in the Bulldogs' end, they could have got another shot. Now it's dangerously close to their empty net here as they have 6 players on the ice. Shot by Martin, shot back out by Young. Net, Lagunier, Bourbonnais, and Ruffalo coming down on an empty net. Lagunier gloves it down. 48 seconds left. There are 2 pucks on the ice. What is going on here, Max?
Well, I've never seen this one before.
I don't know if that was thrown from the fans or if it popped out of the netting. Very odd.
I don't think there were any pucks up in the netting. Certainly nobody hit the boards or anything, so I don't see how it could have come down. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know if the officials hold other pucks in their pockets or anything, but You have to imagine it may have been thrown from the stands. Perhaps someone trying to throw it into the empty net.
Miller will take the face-off here for the Bulldogs. 45 seconds left to play. Miller wins the draw over to Agostino, coming in off the left wing. Agostino in the corner. Challenged by Baker. Coming out of their own end, Flanagan over to Hughes, trying to tip it up to Martin. Martin whiffs on that pass. Whittinger looking to get back off the ice onto the bench. We see him coming out. 24 seconds left.
Uh-oh. And Andrew Miller shot that one off the ice there. So that face-off is going to stay deep within the Yale zone. Hopefully nobody got hurt too bad as that puck shot up in the stands there. Everyone seems to be okay. Good people noticing as that puck came up. Don't want to see anybody get injured on a errant shot there. But with Miller knocking that one out of play, the face-off's going to stay within the Yale zone. Not a penalty there like it is in the National Hockey League. Just a face-off within the defensive zone. But certainly a draw coming out there into the neutral zone would have spelled the end of St. Lawrence's comeback efforts.
And to finish off the period, Yale has put Duick, Young, Balch, Lagunier, and Bourbonnais on the ice. Bourbonnais on the shot by Carey off the face-off. Bourbonnais now with the puck, trying to kill some time, flips it off, hits the referee in the back. Got to move out of the way there. Puck into St. Lawrence's end. Balch hard on the forecheck. St. Lawrence struggling to get anything going as the whistle is blown. End of the game. Bulldogs win. First game at home, 4-2 against St. Lawrence.
Great finish there for the Bulldogs. They played tough that entire third period, and they did a good job of keeping St. Lawrence honest, to be honest. They shut him down again. Another fantastic look from Andrew Miller. He had a great game today. Those two goals obviously stand out, but just in terms of creativity, passing, whatnot, it's a huge leader for this Bulldogs team, and we saw that again today. Any takeaways from today's game, Maddie?
Bulldogs definitely stepping up to take out the power play and penalty kill for St. Lawrence as they are nationally ranked. Very hard to defend against such a power play. We saw them working really well together. Carey on the back door. Yale's defense doing a nice job reading that play, recognizing that that's their go-to. Bulldogs with some great offensive opportunities, the garbage goals, everything. Definitely a great showing for the Bulldogs. Thank you so much for joining us on Yale All Access with Adlon Adams and Max Wallenstein.
We'd like to take this time also to thank our production crew here assisting us throughout the night for all their hard work. I invite you to come back. Yale All Access covering Yale men's hockey next December 1st, Saturday night against the Brown Bears. For Max Wallenstein and Adlon Adams, have a good night, folks.